Hello, my name is Kedar and you're watching rptv. Today, we bring you the latest Regent Park Social Development Plan Planning Committee meeting, where community leaders, city representatives, and grassroots organizers have gathered to tackle some of the neighborhood's most pressing issues. From funding shortfalls to leadership development and coordination between working groups. These discussions will shape the future of Regent Park. The meeting begins with a review of the key logistical updates for the upcoming Regent Park Stakeholders Table meeting, now rescheduled to April the 3rd, 2025. Elena confirmed food will be provided by Carousel Cafe with a set menu for 40 people at a cost of $950. Adonis Huggins from Focus Media Arts Center proposed a jeopardy-style game to engage attendees in discussions about Regent Park's working groups. With categories like communications, safety, and employment, participants will be divided into color-coded teams and compete for points. Each working group will contribute at least 8 questions for the game, and organizers will finalize the event's format and logistics. These discussions will shape the future of Regent Park. Let's take a closer look at what was on the table.
Okay, let's discuss the date. So the recommendation is to move it by a week from March 27th, Thursday, March 27th to Thursday, April 3rd.
Oh, April 3rd, that's
Sure.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
April 3rd.
Okay,
My
do we
apologies.
have agreement on the change of the date? Is everyone okay with that?
Yes, I am okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm okay with April 3rd.
Awesome. Okay, I'm passing it back to Elena to discuss the food. Go ahead, Elena.
Yeah, thank you very much. Today I have received the email regarding the food invoices from the Carousel Cafe. They have arranged the same things with the almost the same amount, and I will forward it to the Brandy, so they have accepted. The food, it will be served by the Carousel Cafe, and it is including the chicken biryani meal for 40 people, chicken samosa with chutney for 40 people, water 40 people, pop 40 people, cheesecake 40 people. This is all. It came almost to 950, and I will send the invoice to the Brandy. So we do not have any problem for the serving the food.
Okay.
And
so-
even I have mentioned them that we definitely change the date to the 3rd of the April, and they are aware of it. So
Okay.
that's it. Thank you very much. Get back to the Brandy.
Okay, thank you for that update. Does everyone understand that the information that Elena has just provided us with, so that all the food arrangements has been prepared, and she will be submitting an invoice that will be sent over to the STFA for approval for the new date of April 3rd, 2025 for the stakeholders table meeting. Is that in agreement? Everybody understands that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Did we want to, sorry. Do we have any, is that a question? Is there any hands raised? Anybody wanted to speak to that? If not, I would like to move over to the content. I believe Adonis made a really great suggestion. And I just wanted to, if Adonis, you're here, right? Correct? Can you speak to what your suggestion for the content for the stakeholders tables meeting?
Yeah, hi folks. Adonis is here, and yeah, the stakeholder, those people who were involved in the stakeholder table content meeting, we suggested that we do a Jeopardy-like game show in which we present categories on all the working groups and on Regent Park as a general category. So there'd be a category on communications, a category on safety, a category on employment and ED, a category on community building, and then a category on general on Regent Park. The idea is that everyone who comes in will get one of 4 cards, orange, green, red, blue, And sorry, once people are seated, we will hand out orange, red, blue, and green cards based on where they sit. So we don't want to divide people. So we're just going to have them be able to talk amongst themselves with very little movement, basically. So there might be a green on the east side of the hall, a red on the other side of the wall, a blue back on the east side, and then another color on back on the west side. So the idea is we split them up into where people are sitting into 4 groups, and they discuss the questions. So the MC will raise a question, and each group will have opportunity to choose which of the categories, just like Jeopardy. If you've seen Jeopardy, they could choose which of the categories they want to do. They could choose a harder question, a $500 question, or a $100 question, or a game. It might not be exactly the same way, but that's the idea. And then they discuss the questions among their group, and then they come up with a group answer. Um, and then they're either awarded points or not. So that's the idea. So where we want to go, and then afterwards, after the game is played, we suggest that there be 5 questions. So in total, there would be 25 questions that will go around. After the game is played, we would like the working groups to go into a bit more details about their events and activities that they're planning over the course of the year, and with the idea of trying to get everybody engaged into their activities, to find out what the working groups, and to sign in people if they haven't already been signed to a working group. So that's the idea of it. So that's first the idea, and then our in terms of organizing it, we're hoping that we could have at least one person from each of the working groups to work with the co-chairs and work with their committees to get questions about their group. So we want each group to have 8 questions, each working group to have 8 questions, in which case we will decide 5 of them. So that's the basic idea. And just, you don't need to know the details. It's basically a Jeopardy-like game in which everybody who comes are divided up into groups, and they play it not as individuals, but they play it as a group. And we'll make it fun. We'll add the Jeopardy soundtrack and everything like that.
Are there any prizes?
Does everything have to be with a prize?
For the winners, yes.
No, I don't believe our budget can afford prizes, but if you have prizes, bring them. But the idea is let's not get into that. If we have prizes, great. It's part of the budget. It's not,
Okay.
so far, it's not part of the budget that I understand, but essentially we are giving out like $500 dollars. But if we're still working with the cafe to see if they could, support that in any way in terms of or some kind of prize. But yeah, we don't really have a budget
No,
for prizes at
The
this
prize is applause and bragging rights.
point. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
prize. Bragging rights.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you
And
for
keep in
that.
mind, it's not individuals, it's groups. So it's not like, it's a little harder to do prizes for groups.
True. True. Okay. Good to know. Thank you for that update, Adonis. Does anyone have any questions for Adonis for for him going over the content of what would be discussed and how it will be interactive and engaging? Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, Elena, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Adonis, you mentioned each group, they have 8 questions. So these questions are made by whom, and what type of questions are they? They are just related to the SDP groups or all the working groups?
Yeah. So the next part of this is basically identifying one person from each of the working groups to work with the co-chairs and the working group either or, to develop, to bring 8 questions. And
Okay.
what we're going to be doing at our next meeting, which is happening on Tuesday at 5:00. We want sorry, not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So we'll remind people, but we want to select the people who are gathering questions from each of the working groups now. We will meet in 2 weeks. So so we're hoping that everyone who's gathering questions will gather them in 2 weeks' time. And then we will meet again to review all the questions. And if we have a problem with the questions, we'll go back to the working groups. But essentially, we'll meet to discuss the questions and select which of the 5 questions from each of the working groups we'll have. Remember, we're asking each person to get 8 questions. So essentially, we're going to pick the best 5.
Good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I think with regards to the prizes, I think that's a good idea. And maybe what we could do is we could solicit prizes from our stakeholders and different organizations. I can take on that responsibility to help incentivize participation.
Yeah, but
They're
this
really
is
great.
not a prize thing. We don't want to, again, it could be one group made up of 15 people. But
Okay.
if you want to do a prize, then do a raffle. Don't put this on us.
Raffle. Yeah. Raffle is a better idea, actually.
All right.
Thank you, Adonis. Dini, you're next. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, we don't know how many people are going to be in each group.
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes it very difficult to, plus it sets up an expectation that we'll have trouble keeping up on. Whereas if we just play games for the sake of playing games and enjoying ourselves, people won't be expecting to get something every time they play a game.
Mhm. Okay. So
Yeah.
raffle is better.
And just a
Yeah.
quick suggestion too, if you want to do that, if you have the card, the winning group will only the group will get into a raffle and then they won the game, one of them will win it.
You
Okay.
guys really love these prizes.
So bring your
What
ideas.
is this capitalistic?
Yeah, no.
Bring
We
your
will
ideas.
only do
bring
anything
your
if
Just
there's a
just
raffle
because
involved.
make the
If
list
there's a
shorter.
prize involved.
Hey,
I
it's
want to
the
encourage
political way of
Rashida. I want to
thinking.
encourage everyone to bring your ideas and suggestions to the Tuesday meeting.
No, let's just keep it as a fun, as
Yeah, keep it
Adana
as a
said, and
fun
let's just
activity.
have a little fun on that, and then hey, just keep it like that. I was just,
Okay, sounds good.
but if
Okay,
you
so
have something to give, that's amazing. Yeah, bring it in.
Then do a raffle. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the raffle idea.
okay, folks. So what we're looking for is one person from each of the working groups to volunteer to collect questions. Do we have volunteers? So let's start from each working group. Community building. Do we have, who's here from community building?
I am,
Cool.
but I don't want to do it.
Okay. Who else? Do we have a volunteer from community building who would like to collect 8 questions?
I don't know what you mean by collect. I have to go around to get them from people.
Well, you have to talk to the
Develop them.
co-chair to see if it's appropriate, or if you're meeting in the next 2 weeks to talk to the working group.
I'm
Okay,
wondering if it's something that can be done online.
that would be
Yeah,
great.
that's sure. However, yeah, it would be that person's responsibility.
Google Docs or something.
I'll take that back to the working group and
Okay, Joel, I'm
who
putting
we
Joel
find.
there, so you could have a designate, Joel.
Yeah.
Great. So Joel is for the record, Brandy.
Yep.
Joel for community building.
Yep.
Do we have employment in it? Employment here.
Yeah, we've got actually Hashim. Can you quickly introduce yourself? I think you're one of the other co-chairs of Employment Economic Development. So Hashim, please go ahead. And what's your favorite toy? If you still play with toys.
Oh, go. That's pass. Forget the icebreaker. Come on, this is my content. I'm sharing this.
Okay, back to Adonis, but I want to make sure Hashim introduces himself.
Hashim, sure. Introduce yourself, Hashim, and then if you want to volunteer, we're happy to have you.
Okay, I would like to volunteer. My name is Hashim Lorraine. I'm one of co-chairs of Toronto Housing Residents.
Great, Hashem. So Hashem, yeah, we want you to gather 8 questions about the work of the employment group. And you could work with Elena or anyone else for the culture to gather those questions. So we want 8 questions.
From random people.
No, 8 questions related to the work of the employment and working group.
So when you say 8 questions, should I create those questions, or it has to be from tenants?
Well, the 8 questions are for people who don't know very much about the employment and working group. So 8 questions. One question could be, Elena, give me an example of one question from the employment and working group.
Well, I have to discuss with the group, of course, but because the Hashem was not
Yeah,
the
no,
really,
I get
yeah,
it. Yeah. So
yeah,
one question is
Workforce integrator
well, yeah,
project
one
yeah.
of the projects is a workforce
integrator.
integrator. Do they give people jobs? Do they B, do they refer people to a job? C, do they hand out money? I don't know. Just an example.
I got you. Okay, I understand
Okay,
now. No problem.
thank you. So we need one person from safety.
I'll do that.
Marlene, thank you.
Marlene.
And then we have Mashida from communications. Thanks for volunteering, Mashida.
Just 1 second, please. So you just volunteering me?
Yes.
What time am I supposed to be
It's
it's a
okay, you're
fasting
working with your
time.
co-chair Adonis.
Yes.
I'm fasting, so I need to we need to set a proper timing though.
Yeah, and if you can't make that meeting, just make sure you just email your questions.
Okay, sure. I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
But we will be meeting in 2 weeks' time at 5 p.m.
5
on
p.m.
Tuesday. So not this Tuesday, the following Tuesday at 5.
Okay. Which will be 18th?
Brandy?
Sorry?
Brandy
Yeah,
will
I think
confirm the date. Yes,
Yeah.
I guess it is.
yes. Yeah, I most likely won't be able to come on time, but maybe I will join you guys around like a 5:15 or something.
Great.
Then
Or just
okay.
send the questions. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
So thank you, everybody. I
No.
appreciate it. Great. Looks good. Oh, sorry. The other thing I have to go. Sorry, one other thing. Now, the idea is that either the co-chairs or a designate, someone instead of the co-chairs, will be presenting about their working group, the activity and events that you're planning for the rest of the year. So we want each of the working groups to present after the game and tell everybody in the audience what they will be working on over the course of the year. What projects are going on, what are their main activities, what are the main events that they're planning. And then be able to take a Q&A from the audience. Is that clear for everybody?
Yeah.
Elena
Yeah.
has an end up.
Yeah, actually, I would like to do that, and I can do that because I am aware, that how the things are going on a EED group. And one more thing, if you want to put the meeting on Tuesday, please do not put it late because I have another things to do. If we can do it maybe 1, 2, 3, before our agenda or strategic meeting, that would be perfect.
It's
That's just,
content.
yeah. Otherwise, for me, it would be a little bit difficult because it is on Tuesday. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah. Well, we pre-signed the meeting and that's fine, Elena, but if you could, we're just getting the questions for that meeting really and just planning the stakeholders.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
maybe even it's not necessary. I will be there. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Even if you
We
email
don't
the
need to hear the
questions.
presentations. We want the working groups to each basically present themselves. So whatever you have organized,
All
we
right.
don't want to hear that. All we want is the questions. And then really, the next meeting will tell you exactly how much time, but I think planning
Okay.
at least 7 minutes to present. At least
Okay.
7, I would say.
Oh, all right. I prepared that one. And the question Hashem will do, right, Hashem?
Yes, Hashem will work with you
Okay,
in the
perfect.
committee for the questions.
Perfect. Perfect.
Great. Is that all? So, Marlene, are you able to work with the safety committee around the questions? Like, I mean, the presentation and communicate that to the safety? Or should we do that through Brandy?
Fine, I can do that.
Okay.
Thank you, Marlene.
Communications, Adonis, are you able to do that? Well, yes, I am. I can do that.
Sorry.
And community building,
Yeah.
Joel,
I'll do that.
you
Yep.
got that? Okay, great. So we're all set in terms of plans. Thank
Yes.
you, everybody.
Thank you, Adonis, and thanks
Thank
to
you.
everyone. Thanks
Well
to all
done,
the coaches.
Adonis.
Yeah, good job, Adonis. And thanks to the co-chairs for taking on those responsibilities. I think we're going to have a great stakeholders meeting. Dini, why don't you go next? And I just want to make sure that Brandy, that we do find some time to go through the slide deck after the submissions are made, right? So it's all
Correct.
okay. So Dini, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like us, whether it's doing a head count or passing around a sign-in sheet, I really want us to start tracking attendance.
For sure.
I think it's really important to know how many people are turning up.
So the
we can-
working groups, are you talking about the stakeholders table?
Stakeholders table.
Yeah, we will have a sign-up sheet. We always
Because
do.
it's been iffy, Andy, how many people have come? How many people were there last time? Well, I don't know. Well, maybe it was some people.
No, we
think it
did
was this
track it.
many, some people think it was that. Let's get something down so that we're tracking attendance at these meetings.
So we are tracking attendance both through registration and people showing up on the day off. Brandy,
Yep.
We had a sign-up sheet for the
Yep.
last one.
We have them.
Right? Okay, so we have numbers.
Yep.
So there's no ambiguity about how many people show up to our
Well, can we
stakeholders.
please be sharing that information regarding how many attendees we have with the Evaluation and Benchmarks Committee?
Sure. That's a great suggestion. Absolutely, Dini. It makes sense.
Awesome. Okay, we're now going to move on to the next item unless there's someone else wants to speak to this. Adonis, I see your hand up. Is that an old hand or a new hand?
No, it's a new hand. Just to follow up what Dini said, I noticed that there's no registration table in our logistics. And maybe we should have a registration table, and maybe we should look for volunteers to have the registration to
That's a good
organize the
suggestion. Very
registration
intentional.
table.
So let's just add registration table. Thanks, Adonis. Anyone else with other suggestions? Okay, great discussion, everyone. Wonderful meeting on this portion. Now we're going to move on to the next portion. So, Brandy, if you
Yep.
don't mind sharing on the screen the email that was sent out by Richard Kerwin on behalf of SDFA and the decision related to the co-chair honoraria.
So don't you want to finish that point about registration before we move on?
What's pending, Michael? Please let us know.
Well, I mean, get the volunteers for the registration table.
Yeah, we're gonna have folks. Does anyone want to volunteer?
Delay that
here?
till the next meeting. All right.
Well, I have one lady. She's very interested to be volunteer. I contacted her. I will contact, and if she's agree with the date and everything, because it should be suitable. So that would be the one option that I have one volunteer.
Yeah, we'll discuss. We'll actually finalize those logistics as soon as we have a confirmation from Fareed about the date, and then we can make sure that there's someone who's at the table. So thanks for that reminder. Okay, folks. One more item. Go ahead, Adonis.
Actually, I would like to see this piece to be off the record, if you don't mind. Can we stop the video?
An email from the City of Toronto reveals that honorarium payments for co-chairs are under review due to concerns about bullying and unresolved conflicts. While 2023 payments will be honored, 2024 payments are on hold. And starting in 2025, honorariums will be discontinued with a new process in place. Attendees express confusion about the email's wording and seek clarification on specific points. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please follow us on our social media platforms and visit our website.